Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Big Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. Now if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most in college hoops and other sports, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Thursday in college hoops. First up, we have Lipscomb and North Alabama. This one is 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. I think you could argue the two best teams in this conference, if not two of the better teams in the A-Sun for sure. Lipscomb is 13-6 overall, 5-1 in conference play. North Alabama is 12-7 overall, 4-2 in conference play. So they do have those two losses, but those were two true road games against two other strong teams in the A-Sun, Florida Gulf Coast and Jacksonville. So I think North Alabama is more battle-tested in terms of their conference games so far. A lot of true road games against some solid teams compared to Lipscomb, who's played West Georgia, Bellarmine, Austin Peay, North Florida, some of the weaker teams in the conference, and they've racked up the wins there. But for me, I think this is the toughest game that Lipscomb's had since the end of December, over a month ago, against Middle Tennessee, which was on the road, and that ended up being a close loss. I think this is going to be a close loss as well. Lipscomb is a very solid offense. This is a team that shoots a lot of threes. They make them at a good rate. But North Alabama in conference play, the second best three-point defense in the conference in terms of the A-Sun numbers. They're holding teams about 30% from three-point range. That's really important against Lipscomb. And another thing is North Alabama scores a lot of its points from two-point range. They score over 50%, 54% of their points via two-point field goals. Lipscomb's two-point defense has been giving up a lot of points. 55% of the points that Lipscomb gives up are from two-point field goals. So I think the Lions just match up well in this one, playing at home. I'm going to go with North Alabama in this game. Next up, we have Iona and Ryder. This one is 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. Ryder's playing its best basketball of the season. They're on a 3-game win streak. 2 of those wins were on the road. And they've really relied on their defense to get the job done in these games against Niagara, Mount St. Mary's, and Marist. They held all those teams to 65, 60, and 57 in the wins. But for me, in this game, I actually think we see a little bit of a different game from Ryder in this one. I actually like the over in this game. I think both offenses match up well and can take advantage of the weaknesses of both of these defenses. Now, the first thing I see with Iona, very aggressive defense. They're actually number 1 in the country in turnover percentage defensively, forcing a turnover on about 25% of their opponent's possessions this year. And that usually bodes well in some of these MAAC games because some of these teams do a poor job at taking care of the basketball. But for Ryder, they've actually done a good job at taking care of the ball. They've limited turnovers, especially in conference games. In MAAC play, they've only turned the ball over about 14% of their possessions, second best in the conference. So I don't think Ryder loses the ball too much. I think they have a lot of possessions. And I also think when you look at Iona's aggressive defense, kind of a side effect of forcing a lot of those turnovers is they take a lot of fouls. Ryder is a good free throw shooting team. They're scoring a lot of their points from the charity stripe. So I think this is going to be actually a comfortable game for Ryder, especially at home against Iona on the offensive side. And then you look at the defense for Ryder. I don't love its matchup because Iona, while they're not a great shooting team, they're the third best offensive rebounding team in the entire country, and Ryder has struggled on the defensive glass. So, like I said, the Gales probably going to miss a lot of shots in this game, but they should get a lot of second chance looks and score their points that way. I think we see kind of an ugly, sloppy type of basketball game with a lot of stoppages and a lot of free throws, and I think we get over the total in Iona Ryder. Next up, it's Little Rock and Western Illinois. This one is going to be 8:30 Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. Little Rock's playing great basketball right now. They've won 3 straight games. They're 5-2 now in conference play. And I do think their defense is the real deal, but I don't trust their offense enough on the road to lay this many points against the Western Illinois team that I think is better than its current record and its current losing streak. And when you look at Western Illinois on the offensive side, they do a pretty good job at taking care of the basketball. That's really important against Little Rock. They're another aggressive defense that forces a lot of turnovers. But I think, honestly, Western Illinois has a chance to win the turnover battle in this game. And another thing is, Western Illinois has been quite competitive in conference play. They had a couple of games get away from them, like the last one against Southern Indiana, but they have a couple of wins already in conference action. They forced overtime against UT Martin, played a close one, a low-scoring game against Morehead State on the road back on January 16th. And this is also a team that takes and makes a lot of three-point jumpers. 54th best three-point shooting team in the country. That could be an issue for Little Rock. While they have a good three-point defense, they give up a lot of their points from the perimeter. So I think Western Illinois' offense is actually going to be comfortable in this game. And I look for Western Illinois to at least cover the number, if not pull off the outright upset. Next up, we'll go to the Big Ten as Maryland takes on Illinois. This one is going to be 9 p.m. Eastern. It's on Fox Sports 1. I think Maryland's defense is the real deal, and I think it can definitely go toe-to-toe with Illinois in this game. The problem for me is the offense. And, Maryland on the road this season, while they really haven't gotten crushed in any of their road games, they've actually played, quite competitive basketball. They played a 5-point loss against Purdue, 6-point loss against Washington, 4-point game against Oregon, and went to overtime against Northwestern. The common denominator is they're losing all these road games. They have yet to win a single true road game in conference play or overall this year. And now against an elite offense in Illinois, one of the best, if not the best, rebounding teams in the country, I just don't think Maryland can keep up for 40 minutes with Illinois, especially with the Illini coming off an outright loss. They lost that last game in a really close one against Michigan State, 80-78. They've now lost 2 of their last 3 games. We remember the upset loss against USC. So that was their last home game. I think we see kind of a fired up effort from Illinois at home here, and I think they win this game, pull away, and cover the number. And the final game we're to talk about for the Thursday card is Pepperdine and Oregon State. This one, 9:30 Eastern, ESPN+. Now, Oregon State's been quite inconsistent in conference play. They're 4-3, it's a solid record, but you'd expect a little bit better for West Coast Conference, one of the better teams in the West Coast Conference. They have the win over Gonzaga, but they also have losses to Loyola Marymount by 21, San Francisco last time out by 11. Now, those were true road games, and it does seem that Oregon State has been a lot better at home than on the road, not just this year, but in recent seasons. The problem for me, though, I don't want to lay this many points. I think the Beavers win this game, probably win it pretty comfortably, but I don't expect them to cover the spread. I think Pepperdine is actually a lot better than what we've seen. I think they're a lot better than their record. Shot quality-wise, this team is not too shabby on both sides of the ball. They take care of the basketball, which is important against Oregon State. They're a good three-point defense, which is also really important against Oregon State. And they also limit a lot of fouls defensively. Quite a disciplined team. Oregon State recently and overall this year has really relied on getting to the free throw line. They're the 10th best free throw shooting team in the country, and they score over 21% of their points from the charity stripe. So if Pepperdine is doing a good job in continuing to limit fouls, which I expect they will, they're the second best in the conference at doing so. I think Pepperdine will cover in this one, and I don't think they have too much of a chance for the outright win, but maybe. I think it might be worth a sprinkle. So I'm going to take the points with the Pepperdine Waves, sprinkle a little bit on the money line, but give me the points. And that's it. Those are the games for Thursday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and put those college basketball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.